Alright, so today I'm going to be breaking down the trusty rusty pipe sound that I love so much. It sounds a little bit like this. Kind of sounds like you're unscrewing something or pulling a lever. It's a very big metallic sound. At its core, did I start the recording? Yeah. At its core, we got our trusty serum instance, which I ride or die, and we actually have a serum effects on top. That's just kind of adding some more metallic tail to this thing with the reverb filter, and then the corpus, which is kind of responsible for a little bit of the higher pitched ringing. But if we strip away all the layers here, all our effects and filters and nice resonators and things, I guess I should play it with everything turned on first. Yep, that's kind of what it sounds like. And if we turn everything off, what it sounds like by default. So I started out just kind of by, I knew the sound from listening to it would need some kind of a dissonant sine wave interference pattern. I don't know what you really call these things. I started out just by kind of doing this shape, because if you kind of want something like that, you just pick a random harmonic and then just splat a couple sines down. Something like that. But by default, whatever you end up with, it sounds very clicky and regular, because all the harmonics are in phase. So you just kind of gotta mess around with them a little bit. Now it sounds a little more noisier and a little less regular. That's kind of a big part of the sound. In addition, just like a little bit of subtle picking to the sound here. So I kind of use this remap here. Kind of like halfway between a true pick shape and then like a bend shape. Bend is like another warp mode on here. Kind of like halfway in between those. It's very, very subtle, very, very light. The LFO doesn't even really push it all that. Just kind of adds a little bit on top. Not really core to the effect, but just adds a little dirt to it. And then this filter here is similar. Not really responsible for a wide part of the sound. It just kind of adds a couple of extra formants on top, which is going to be very important for when we actually use our distortion, which is kind of the main body of this sound. Once you add that distortion, and then these kind of push into that a little bit to help out, you really kind of get that oh, this is like a metal, harsh thing. We do still darken it a little bit, and that kind of helps make it sound more realistic. And then, of course, gotta do the big brain OTT, haha. Just kind of crunches it up, makes it fuller, fatter, smooth brain, haha. Anyway, but yeah, so that's kind of the serum part of it. And then really, once you do all that, all there is just reverb filter. So if we just put this to default settings, you want the cutoff sufficiently low with the resonance sufficiently high, and then we kind of dampen it to give it kind of that more darker resonant pitch. And finally, throw corpus on top, and that gives us the higher pitched ringing part of it, just to kind of hear what that sounds like in isolation. That's kind of what that's responsible for, that higher ding sound. And that's the whole effect. Now there is a little bit of extra automation. This plays with the pitch a little bit, just to add some more noise. I'm not sure why I picked this pattern exactly for this LFO, but it's kind of just moving the formant filter around. And then this is the main envelope that's responsible for the volume automation. And you play with the timing of that to kind of make it sound more human, and that's how you end up with these renders I got out here. But that's the long and short of it. And as a side note for fun, it also kind of becomes a nice bass sound. Maybe slow it down, but yeah, that's the sound.